Right now, we have with us another young Indian as part of the Voice of the Young series. Hello, everyone. Good to be back. Right now, we have with us Utkarsh Anand. Let's listen to him. Over to you, Utkarsh.
Thanks, Professor Subodh. Hello, everyone. Myself, Utkarsh Anand, and right now I'm pursuing my first year PhD graduate education at WSU, Washington State University, in the area of quantitative economics. First, I would like to take you through my journey. It's like briefly, I'd be very brief. So, I come from a very small town in Bihar. Uh, it's called Khagaria. So I had a what do you say, very simple middle class life. I started uh, my life in Khagaria, and the school I was in, it was a very nice school. It's called Kendra Vidyalaya. So initially, I was not very what do you say? I was a very carefree kid, very carefree child. I was not much into education, but I was a sincere kid. So my whole point of this discussion is going to be around you do not to be on your toes all the time. You do not to make plans all the time. um, the most important thing for me, as far as my story is concerned, you just have to be very disciplined and very sincere, and do optimize your task which is like on your plate, and you will be all right. So this has been like my journey. This has been my approach. So I've never planned my things. I've never thought that I'll do something very big in economics. I was like just going with the flow. But I was very sincere, I was very disciplined, and I was like, okay, so this is this is what I have to do. I have exams, so I'll just optimize given my resource, given my time constraint.
Okay.
And I think I have done reasonably good. So after my 10th standard, I passed everything with flying colors, all that 10 CGPA and all. Then I got into a very prestigious, very, what do you say, very competitive school, which was Delhi Public School, Bokaro Steel City. It's like the best school in our Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal area as far as the results, 12th results and engineering result, medical results are concerned, and also the marks, the 12 board marks. So during that time, I was very chill. I was like, I'll just do engineering and I'll pass. I'll go through IITs, like how I uh, good 10 class passed out, I mean, think. But destiny had its own plan. When I So during that time, after my 10th standard, I passed. I just gave entrance of two schools, which was like the big school at during that time. One was Delhi Public School, Bokaro Steel City, and the other one was Jawahar Vidya Mandir Shamli, which is like where the Mahendra Singh Dhoni studied. It's in Ranchi. So I got admission in both the school. So according to my parents, they were like, let's go to you should go to Ranchi and join JVM Shamli. So I was like all set to go to Ranchi, and I didn't even look at the results of Delhi Public School, Bokaro Steel City. So when I got into Ranchi, when I attended all those formalities, uh, one of my friend who was in Bokaro told me that, Utkarsh, you are like rank holder in Delhi Public School, Bokaro Steel City. Your rank is like in top 10. And we were very apprehensive, in joining DPS because of the cost also. Really, it's like relatively expensive. And during that time, we thought that a good Jawahar Vidya Mandir school will be better. But somehow I convinced my parent that let's go to Bokaro and join. So we kind of cancelled our admission in Ranchi and we went to Bokaro. And I went like one day after the results. So because I was in Ranchi for the next day. So all the streams were like everything like computer science, good courses, computer science, information technology, biology, they were all filled. So when I got in, they asked me, Utkarsh, you only have two options. One is economics, which is like half filled, and the other one was, I think, biotech. And I wanted to take computer science or physical education. So that was my goal. But I mean, like I said, destiny had its own plan. So I wanted to, so I'm telling all you all of these just because you should not plan. You should see all all the things in life will not go according to your plan. So if it's like something is happening and you have not expected it, that's okay. Just accept it with, what do you say, with grab it all the opportunity, and then you can see what you can do. uh, Anyway, I was taking physics, chemistry, maths, so I had like I was like, okay, let's explore economics a bit. So I got introduced to economics. There was this teacher, her name was Manisha. She was like extremely intelligent, extremely compassionate, considerate. So during that time, eco was not very mathematical. So it was like very descriptive, all the chapters, like calculating national income and all. So it was very basic. So my whole attitude was business as usual. I was just attending lectures and I was just giving the exams. All of my attention was in the science side, like physics, chemistry, math, that I had to score. I had to give all the engineering entrances. So I was not very interested, and I was not remotely thinking of taking economics in my further education. So what happened was in 12th, suddenly I was taking all the entrance coaching classes. So suddenly I had a chat with Professor Manisha ma'am. She was like, Utkarsh, you are good in economics, and you should pursue economics. If you can, I mean, you can explore these options too. And if you want, there is this institution in Delhi, which is the very big, very famous institute. So she introduced me to Delhi School of Economics. But during that time, I didn't know that this is like a post-grad institution and a research institution, and you should join after the undergrad. So I was like, okay, I should think about this. Then I got busy in my board exams and all. So after my board exams, I got nice percentages. So I applied in DU also, and I gave all the engineering entrances. So I couldn't get through the JEE Advanced, so I couldn't get the IITs. But I had a very good rank in JEE Mains, so I had to decide whether I should, you know, take any, and I take I like tier B, tier C NITs. Like I was getting into NIT Jamshedpur. So I had this trade-off whether I should go for this or I should go for a good undergrad, econ courses in North Campus. So I mean, I had a discussion with my parents, and as usual, any Indian parent, they will say, "Ki just go to any engineering courses, or your life will be set. You
Yeah.
will be, and you are good in maths." So I have always been like, maths is like the one thing I have like most attached to. It's
Mm.
like uh, I like the all the underlying mathematical structures defining any concepts or any phenomena. So I had this thing that, okay, if eco is like maths, if eco has like mathematical structures, mathematical applications, so I can do something. So I explored a bit, and I thought, okay, let's not do engineering, because anyway I was not getting the stream which I wanted to. So I thought, let's go to DU and let's pursue economics and see how far can I go. So I got into Ramjas College. It's in North Campus. It's a good college. And so DU had this thing that you will get in your class, you will have a very diverse pool of students who will come like from all parts of India, and they're very competitive. At the same time, apart from studies, you can do many stuffs in DU. It's like very culturally vibrant, very active. The whole environment is very active. So at the end of your degree, it's not just that you have studied economics. It will be like you are a very aware citizen, and you are a very all round person, socially also. So I used to be very introvert, so I am very introvert. I'm like, I had this thing that I'm not very good at breaking the ice with people. But if I get into my comfortable space, I can be the relatively extrovert person in the group. So I started my undergrad education in Ramjas, and I was like, it was like in first year, second year, it was not that tough, and it was all mathematical. So I had no problem. I was like doing everything perfectly, and I was also very active in all the societies. So I used to be a national level quizzer. So while studying in Kendriya Vidyalaya, I traveled across India for my quizzing. And so I had this thing that I'll do quizzing in Ramjas as well. And because of my quizzing and because of my general knowledge, good general knowledge, my parents were thinking that I should sit for, again, the traditional line of thought that I should sit for the prestigious UPSC exams and I should clear it. And since I'm so much into quizzing, then I need not to, I had the basics. It's not like I have to uh, read the basics again and have to catch up with all those guys. Uh, so I started preparing for a bit in my third year. So I had no plans that I'll pursue post grad in economics during my second year, not in third year. But then again, all those professors in my college, they used to tell me that Utkarsh, since you like the quantitative sides of eco, so I think you should try for the postgrad, also prepare for UPSC, but give the entrances, especially for ISI and DSCs. So I was like, okay. So I took entrance coaching in my third year. So most of the people who are like preparing for MA entrances, if you see the entrance paper and if you see your syllabus, it's like a complete mismatch. There is a gap. So do you has been trying to fill up the gap as far as DSC entrances and DSC education are concerned? But if we are not from the same university, it will be very tough to catch up with all those quantitative jargons, quantitative concepts. So I will definitely recommend you to take some classes. Not just, it's not like coaching is bad. Just take it just to, just to groom yourself,
Mm-hmm.
practice. You can take the material if you don't want to sit
Okay.
for the lecture, but you should take classes just to catch up with the top 25, top 50 quantile who's like preparing for it. So I took the coaching and it was like I could see the gap where it is like I was lacking, despite having studied everything. When I was doing a question, I was not able to, what do you say, what not able to think how to approach a problem. So during that time I got this thing that for any preparation, it's not like you should go through all the chapters, all the slide, and that should be sufficient. You will be in a uh, bubble that you have understood everything, you have studied everything. Still in the exam you will not be able to solve it
Yeah.
because you don't have that required problem solving skill. So during that time my whole the how I used to study, so I changed my way of studying. So I initially I used to do very traditional style of studying, that you should go through the chapters, make notes, and then go through the slides and past year questions maybe. But I was not focusing on solving questions. So now from then onwards I just changed my preparation, my studying strategy, and it's all about focusing on how to understand a subject, understand a concept, beginning with looking into the questions, what kind of questions they ask, what are they expecting from you, what kind of ability, problem solving ability that is required for this exam. You have to face the truth. If it's like you are lacking something, it's completely all right, but you should accept it that I don't know, and I'm not into so much math, so I should catch up. So then I started preparing with with full swing, and uh, I could see that at the end of my preparation I was able to, at least able to understand all the questions. Not able to do it, but able to understand all the questions. So I was like, okay, so this is what they are asking, so I should like read it and again do it. So I got into Delhi School of Economics, and it was like nothing I had expected. So with so much preparation and so much zeal, I got into DSC, and it was like the different crowd altogether. So I had this thing that I came with lot of baggages, that I am very good in maths and I will kill it, all the semester. I'll score the highest. Like I had this attitude, but I got humbled in my first year only. So it was like I could see that in my, in my class, most of my class, some of my classmates are from IITs and they are getting back in maths, which is like unheard of. You could not expect an IIT graduate, get a back in maths. I also got a back. So it was, we all got humbled in our first year. So it was a cohort of around 150 student in my first semester. And it was like 75, 80%, 80 student got like at least one back in first semester. So it was crazy. So we all got humbled. We all thought that, okay, so this is not how we should study. We were studying every day. We were doing everything we could. Still we were not able to score 28 out of 70. That was like that got into our skin, how we should tweak, how what else we can do, to score, to pass the exam, not like thinking about scoring 50, 60, just to get 40%. So it was crazy, it was kind of
Yeah,
depressing. So
yeah,
we all got like very silent. And
yeah.
then our favorite place become library and our home. We used to go to, just rush to library or home. So it was the most stressing 2 years. For me it took 3 years because I had backs. So most of us had backs. So in my first year I got back in maths. Luckily I passed micro and macro, which was like the other compulsory papers. And every semester, like in second semester also, in third semester also, I got backs, like one back. So I completed my Delhi school education in 3 years. It got completed in 2019, last month of 2019. So again, why I'm telling you this, it's not like it's not like I planned these thing and I wanted to pursue even further education. It was like just going with the flow, just see and just improving yourself, see
Mhm.
what you can do, exploring all the options, keep everything open. It's not like you should be very what do you say, you should be very, I want to do this thing. You should not fix everything, just open to all the opportunities. And then
Yeah.
after that result, you can always decide what you can do. It's not like so so I was not thinking, I was just busy with my bags, with passing my bags and covering all the syllabus. So I had no intention to do researches going forward. I had an internship in Financial Express and I wanted to join it. So I did my internship after my second semester. It was like after my first year summer break. So it was like 2 month old internship. So I was in the editorial group, so I used to, during that time, the whole this GST thing and all. This was like going around. Demonetization had happened like 6 months back, so we had a lot to write. So I was an intern in editorial team Financial Express. So during that time I had a mentor in Sunil Chen. Unfortunately, he passed away during COVID. He's a gem of a person. He was also from D school, and he mentored me like, Utkarsh, how you should write, how you should understand the trendy economic concept or trendy concept and relate it to economics. So I worked under him for 2 months, but after 2 months I was like, there were no learning scope. It was like, you got everything what you can do in this job for 2 months. So he only recommended me that, Utkarsh, this is not going to be a very well paid job. First he told me, like, he was being very honest. And then he told me that if you want to do it, I'll not stop it, I'll give you the PPO. But it's not going to be well paid job. And ultimately you will get the idea that what you can do in your job in 6 months, in 1 year, and then it will be like just another job. So if you want to do this thing, if you enjoy it, do it. Otherwise you can always go for better options. So luckily after I passed from DAC, I had 2 bags. So I wanted to join it. So I asked him, should I join? He responded that no, you should not join. You should focus on your papers first, and then after your papers maybe you can try. So his response gave me some sort of room to think about my, future career going forward. So I was like, okay, so now I have 1 full year and I have just 2 papers, which I will clear eventually, because it's just at for some, each semester I have just one paper. So I have lot of, time to think
Mhm.
about it, to do something more. So during that time, I started thinking about, how, since I'm going to graduate in 1 year, what should I do? So I talked to a few persons, and I used to like reading all these research papers. So we had this course, Economic and Policy Development in India, EDPI. So in EDPI course, you have this chapters. So all the chapters are like basically research papers. So I used to like, that subject. I used to write reading research papers. So I had a chat with one of my professor who is like extremely bright, extremely intelligent, extremely, mathematical person. He got his PhD from Yale. His name is Abhijit Banerjee. So he teaches uh, the maths and one of his optional courses at DSE.
Mhm.
So he's like, okay, Utkarsh, I think if you want to do, if you want to pursue research in economics, I can help you. So I worked under him for 2 months. It was like unpaid. I was just learning. So whatever he was doing, and if he needed any help, I was just, he could just message me. I could just go to his office, or he could just mail me. So it was like I was preparing for my one back paper, and I was simultaneously doing this kind of a RA job, not like official RA job. So I was just helping him.
Mhm.
So during those conversations, during those interactions, during those work, and I I also like coding. So it was like I had to do simulation and all. So it was all fancy, all really the things that I want to do. So so he's like, okay, Utkarsh, if you want to do it, just clear all your papers. I'll write a good recommendation for you. But you should, if you are like not very sure, then you should, do some more research work. You should take your time, and then again you apply. uh, so I passed my D school, and my percentage was not that good. It was around 55%. But if you see the cohort, if you know the DSC, you will feel that 55% is way above average. But that was like a big thing. If I apply somewhere and if they don't know, I will be at a disadvantage, because if you do masters from any other university, it's very easy to score 60%, I feel. But in DSC, during that time, it used to be very tough. It used to be very autonomous, and they will not compromise with the quality of their, they will just. So I used to do all the questions, all like 70 out of 70 questions. Still, I was not able to score 28. So that
Mhm.
was the thing. It was like, it used
Mhm.
to be very, sometimes they used to give us binary marking. It's like no step marking. It's complete or nil.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I decided, okay, so I have this thanks that I got this break to think about my career going forward. So I started looking for RA opportunities. I thought, okay, since I have like relatively less percentage, so I will be at a competitive, disadvantage position when I apply. If you see if they see my percentage, if I have only percentage to show, to offer, so I will not be at a good position. So I should, work a bit. I should have some research experience, some working papers to talk about, so that they can also compensate my, my profile. So I started just for that sake, that I'll work for 1 year.
We had an internet glitch, but we are now back. Utkarsh, please continue.
Yes, thank you, Professor. So I got into IIT Mandi as a research assistant. So this was like my first big experience to work under a professor full time, and that too in Mandi, which is like in Himachal Pradesh. You could also enjoy the beauty. That was like additional factor. So I was very excited. So I was like, okay, now I have some, something going on, some positive thing going on in my life. So and I could see that. after like 1 year, maybe I will be applying to all the universities, and maybe I get a good PhD opportunity. So I got into IIT Mandi, and my supervisor, she's amazing. Her name is Professor Shyama Shri Das Gupta. So she's also from DSA. So we both as a team worked on various projects uh, as far as energy economics is concerned. So she's like really into energy sector and water sector. So so we wrote one paper, currently working at a working stage with one of our PhD student. So I used to work in a lab. So in IIT Mandi, they have this Department of Humanities and Social Science lab, where all the graduate student, the masters and PhD student, they go and they work on their project, and they study as well. So I used to go there. So I was the only, what do you say, research assistant come teaching assistant also. So my job was to support all of them in their research, in their coding, and if they are not understanding any concept, I can always read and try to make them understand. So my whole job was I used to just go around 9 a.m. and then sometime I did not have any work, so I used to study because I had my one paper left for DSC. So and so after like one first month was very easy. So after first month, I got into I got a I got into a project, full time project with professor and some of the PhD student. I had to support them because they were like in their last year of PhD education. So I started supporting them also. So it was a very fulfilling, very holistic approach. So apart from my job, which was like not like very rigorous, but I learned many things. I learned how to the basic research thing because I had no idea. So I learned how to look for journals, and how to look for papers, and how to search, which is a very very important thing. How to write the keywords so that you can get all the good papers. And I started, so I already knew Stata and our little bit of R. So I used to support in their coding. I used to help them with writing their scripts. So so it was like very very basic, very what do you say, very ideal for a person who is like research enthusiast and just ready to get into the research field. It was not very rigorous, and they were all very supportive, and I traveled all the good places in Himachal. I got the chance. So so it was for the period of 6 months. So what happened was I was all set. In 2020 I'll apply for my PhD education. I have like whole 8 9 months to prepare for GRE, and all these paper will get published. But nothing of that sort happened.
Mhm.
COVID came,
Mhm.
and uh, we all were affected. I was also affected as well. So I went to my home in COVID. I got the results of DSC. I passed out. I got 55%. And then I went I went to my hometown. So so for 1 year I was literally, I thought I should apply for my PhD. Then I thought I just have 6 months of experience, and it's not ideal to apply in 2020. Maybe if I get admission, I'll have to attend all the classes from home. So that was the issue, and parents had their own issue that you should not, you should wait. Let's see, let's apply next year. But I had no plan what I should do now. So it was, so I was basically not doing anything for 6 months. It was like usual how people were affected by COVID. So after like 6 month 8 month, I gave a Indian Economic Services paper. So that was there I was like, it's not like I was like preparing very sincerely, but since I was free, I had like some month of time left. So I sat for a Indian Economic Service exam. I couldn't clear it, but then I had like, okay, so I should not got into this. I should not get myself into this preparing for government exams thing. And if I want to do it, and then I should do it like properly. Otherwise I should just focus on my research career. Then again I started actively looking. I can always work from home, I thought. So I let's start looking for another opportunity. So after like 6 months of struggle, uh, of keep applying. Again, I'll say, don't get disheartened if you get
Yeah.
rejected. So there are like for one position 100 people will apply, even more than 100. You should not take it personal. It's like those who are getting it, they are talented than you. So that it's not like they are like intellectually better than you. It's just that they are well versed with all the concept that is required, and now you are not, but you should always catch up. So
Mhm.
uh, keep working hard, and be aggressive as far as applying is concerned. Don't be like very conservative that I should apply, because you don't know. It's not like you have figured out everything, and during that young age you want to do this particular thing also. So I was very open that I, even if I this field doesn't interest me, maybe I don't know about this field, maybe I'm not well versed with all those
Mhm.
technicalities of. So I was very open. So if you see my research experiences, I have worked in energy sector, I have worked in transportation sector, I have worked in development sector, each and every sector, and I've tried to maximize my experiences, try to learn as much as possible. So after like 6 months of trying hard, luck had its own plan. I got into my what I initially wanted to do my research assistantship in. I got into Indian Statistical Institute Delhi Center. So I had this amazing three set of supervisor who was like very very bright. So I was basically under Dr. Prabal Rai Chaudhary. He's like very famous name as far as theoretical micro is concerned. He is a very senior professor at ISI Delhi, and apart from, so he was my primary PI. So apart from him, I had two additional supervisor. One is a very famous Bangladeshi economist. His name is Dr. Shyamal Chaudhary. He's right now an associate professor at University of Sydney. And the other person is Dr. Devdatta Saha. She used to be a PhD graduate student under Dr. Prabal Rai Chaudhary. So they had this working relationship. They used to write paper together. And Professor Shamal Chaudhary was coming for the first time. So they were also very excited. And I was the only RA. So you can imagine
Mhm.
the job,
Yeah. Mhm.
one RA, multiple supervisors. So so they decided that how they should approach this paper. So Dr. Prabal was in charge of all the designing the theoretical framework of our paper. Devdatta Saha was doing all the empirical work, all the data work, and Professor Shamal Chaudhary was in charge of overall thing, or and also the literature thing, the literature review, and writing the reconciliation part and discussion part. So he was like the overall picture how a paper should shape like. So this I so because of this I had the chance to learn everything from the expert. So at the same time, during one part of the day I was doing empirical work, other part of the day I was helping Prabal sir with all those designing all those theoretical framework. So he used to design the generalized solution, and then
Mhm.
I used to I used to see if this work. I used to uh, take some examples and see if this is functioning, and if some more assumptions and more additional conditions are required. So so I used to had a discussion with him that, and he also used to get excited at you. Oh, because you also love maths, and it's good that we should again collaborate together. I was like, okay. And with Shyamal sir I was just doing literature review. So so I worked under them for like 8 to 9 months. So it was like the best thing I had done.
Okay.
So after the experience I was pretty sure this is what I wanted to do. I know what, for a professional paper, what's the deal. I mean, what all that is required to
Mhm.
do, how you can think, and how you can cover each and every facets of research. So I was a bit relatively bit experienced person, so I could at least approach the problem, do all the data work. I could think that how we should do this, we should do that, given the research statement. So so in 2021 I sat for GRE, and I was doing this. But after 8 months my contract got expired, it got discontinued. And then I got into like after so it was not like I had a gap. It just that my job ended, I got into a very bright research team whose head is a permanent World Bank employee. So he used to be engineering Indian Economic Services. He used to be in Indian IES. His name is Dr. Abhishek Anand. Uh, so he works now currently at World Bank. So I was working under him, and so we both as a team uh, was handling all sort of research works. Like we had uh, Jindal Global University as our client. So we used to work together, and we used to write discussion papers, and we used to write papers uh, for them. So this was not very quantitative, very technical, but at the same time, more corporate in nature. So here I have to learn how to manage project, how to give presentation, how to write well. So so with this job, the other part which I was lacking, which was not so during my job at ISI or IIT. So if you are doing a full-fledged academic job, you are fine, doing a desk job and not, going out. Not It's not very corporate in nature, but working with the World Bank team, working with all those professors, all those clients, I got introduced to this part also, and I had a great experience working with them. So I worked under them again for 6 months. So I was keep working. It's not like I was thinking about anything now. So it's just that I was sure that this is what I wanted to do,
Yeah,
and I was doing everything.
yeah,
What was required at the same time, with each projects, I have one more paper, one
yeah,
more paper. So it was like accumulating with time. So by the time I have applied, I have like 3-4 working papers, not published, but they are working. So yeah, so I didn't apply to many universities. I was like not sure which university I should apply. So I had a chat with my supervisors. One was Dr. Prabal Chaudhary, one was Dr. Shamal Chaudhary, and the other one was my academic supervisor, who is a very senior professor at Ramjas College. So we had this discussion, where should I apply. They went through my profile, and they decided that Utkarsh, since you have a very good education, but since it's just that because of your marks, sometime you will be at a disadvantaged position. So I should recommend you to apply to all the mid-range universities, but don't compromise with your what do you say, concentration in PhD. So I was very sure that I'll apply to any what do you say, STEAM related PhD program in economics. So whether it is like PhD in econometrics, PhD in machine learning, or PhD in quantitative economics, this is what I wanted to do. Uh, so I applied to around 6 universities, and after all these applications, I got fully funded offer from 2 universities and partially funded from one universities. So from University of Arizona, I got partially funded offer, and from Oregon State and Washington State, I got fully funded offer. So after the discussion, after some discussions, I accepted WSU, since it was like PhD in quantitative economics and econometrics, and they have a very bright faculty. So I used to, enjoy reading Ron Mittelhammer's stats book back in
yeah,
India, and I thought he's going to be my instructor. So I was very pumped up, joining here at WSU, and I used to follow Professor Felix also, as far as, so he's a very famous professor. His name is Professor Felix Garcia. He's he teaches applied micro game theory here. So applied micro and all this, I have worked under this field, and I had some sort of soft corner because of the mathematical side of it. So I believe microeconomics is kind of applied maths. So I was sure that okay, so I have at least good faculties, and it's a campus town. So I wanted to do my PhD in campus town because of cost and all. So I got into WSO, and the journey has been super good, super amazing so far. I
yeah,
could see the differences of the US research, the research scenario in the US as compared to India, and here everything is like elective. You can't. So if you compare it with DSE, each and every student, you know, they are not work. They don't encourage us, so much to work in a group, do homework, weekly homeworks and all. But here you could see that since our first day we had a study group, and weekly homeworks, weekly problem sets, and everything will be accounted in your marks. So you will not have the option to slack. So this has been amazing, and it's
Okay,
not like,
Utkarsh, just a second. I might have a call, so can I just put it on pause and I'll be back, okay? Okay, I'm back. Let's listen to Utkarsh.
uh yeah, so I think I'll not take much time.
Go ahead.
So if I would like to conclude my journey, so I would like to conclude now first. So if I'd like to conclude my journey, it's just that what I have felt, what I have experienced so far, how the life has treated me, how my life has transitioned from being a very, small boy in Bihar and now I'm studying in US. It's just that uh, don't try to, plan everything. Go with the flow, and some virtues are required. It's like be disciplined, be sincere, and be responsible. Whatever you have to do it with full grace, full
Mhm.
the potential that you have, and don't expect that everything will fall into place. Accept it and open to all the opportunities.
Yeah,
So right now I am in first year. uh, my first year is going to end soon, and so in WSU, for our first year, we have to go through all the core courses in macroeconomics, and all the quantitative courses, including
yeah,
stats, econometrics.
yeah,
So at the end of our first year, we will have our compulsory exams, our core
yeah,
exams, and we have to pass it in order to be an official PhD candidate.
yeah,
So it's a big thing, and I'm very concerned that I should give my best and I should pass it with full,
yeah.
um,
Okay,
yeah. So after that I will be official PhD candidate, and then we'll go through all the field courses, all the optional
yeah,
courses, and
okay,
we can choose our supervisor and our PhD work. So if you follow me on, if you follow me on LinkedIn, you will get to know that what I'm researching on, and
okay.
I'll keep you guys updated
All
and
right.
have. Okay, bye.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you, Utkarsh. It is always good to know that even if you are from a small town in Bihar, you can make it big. You might not have been the top student, but the names you have taken, DPS, Bokaro, DSE, Ramjas, ISI, IIT Mandi, these are India's top places. Now, you may not be the top student in those places, but these are India's top places. This hard to get better than a combination of DSE, IIT, ISI. These are really excellent. So you have done very well. And you say it's not been planned. Well, good. You did it your way. And it's a pleasure
yes,
to listen to you and to talk to you. Let's end it here. And maybe we'll catch up with you in 1 year to see how you're doing and what your
sure,
thoughts are and what is your future at that time. So let's say bye to the
sure.
viewers. I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. So bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye everyone.